All right, if you've been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you know that their lifestyle is extravagant, not your average household. But keeping up with Kim as an assistant, there are 9 strict rules that you must follow. Rule number 1, her closet has to look immaculate. According to an inside source in Radar in 2015, Kim would often change multiple times in a single morning. She will change outfits to suit her, whatever it is, and she'll often leave things on the floor. And that is up to the assistant's job to put things back exactly where they belong. Her being a fashion icon, I mean, first of all, if you've seen a glimpse of any of her closets, they all look like the same color palette to me anyway, but she'll try things on, leave them on the floor, and then your job is to put them back exactly where they belong. She even had staffers stay late at night to organize after returning after an event, okay? The next thing, they can't talk about Kim to her sisters. So this is an actual rule that they have to follow. The assistants cannot gossip, cannot talk about her to her sisters, anything that's going on in her home. In a 2017 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim and her sister Kourtney had a discussion after Kim's assistant enjoyed a night out with Kourtney, and the assistant told Kourtney that she wasn't feeling satisfied in her position, leading to Kim characterizing the two's relationship as inappropriate. I mean, I think that's a fair rule. I don't know that that's necessarily a strict one, but if I were working as, and I would never be working as an assistant, but if I were one of Kim's assistants, I would probably know that gossip is off the table, all right? The next thing is they must be quick hands-on learners. So they live a lavish lifestyle. There's a lot to probably learn about the way she likes things, the way she likes to coordinate. To be Kim's assistant, you have to be somebody that is hands-on, quick learner, and fast on your feet. I think that would be, par for the course as long as, you know what Kim's like. Supposedly she's a workaholic. We have her memes talking about how she considers herself one of the hardest working amongst the sisters, and she often labels some of her other sisters as lazy. So I'm pretty sure that as her assistant, you cannot fall behind. Number 4, no jewelry in the house. That means, Kim does not leave expensive jewelry in the house ever since she got robbed in the Paris hotel room in 2016, where she lost 2 cell phones and roughly $10 million worth of jewelry. Kim does not allow jewelry in the house. In fact, any jewelry that she does wear, supposedly it's either borrowed or fake. So that incident clearly has her, traumatized, so you cannot do that. Quote unquote, I have it all taken from security before I even enter my home. Kim said on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I can't sleep if I have jewelry in my safe or money or anything at my house. I just don't live my life like that. So she probably now has decided to leave her things in other people's homes or probably a safety deposit box. But I would imagine after going through a situation like that, she probably does not want to leave valuables in her home for the opportunity for thieves to rob her home. The next thing is that they must be multitaskers. Multitasking is a must. Not only are assistants expected to learn on the fly, but they also work multiple tasks at once. So in that same article interview with Refinery 29, Shepard, one of her assistants, detailed what a typical day looks like for her, which notably included checking lots of messages, communicating with her fellow assistants. The first thing I do every morning is read my email, Shepard said. Then I'll check with her personal assistant, Michael, who I also brought onto the team. We used to have a Jenner communications office where I would work out of sometimes, but now I kind of just work from home or with Kim at her house, or sometimes at Chris's house in Calabasas. All right, number 6, they should take notes. I mean, I don't know that that's a very strict rule, but it is something that Kim expects because I gather she does not want to repeat herself. So take notes while, I'm telling you to multitask and also have no jewelry and also, be at my beck and call. Even if you think you're gonna remember it in your head, you're not, Shepard told Refinery 29. We have interns through Jenner Communications, and every time I see an intern not taking notes when they're getting instructions, I'm like, you're gonna screw this up, just write it down, it's not that hard. So yes, you have to be a proficient note taker. Number 7, own up to your mistakes. She has a rule that if you did not do something properly or you mess something up, she just wants you to be accountable. Don't hide it. She doesn't like to be left in the dust. She doesn't want to have to figure out who did it. So if you mess up, make sure that you own it, okay? I've screwed up, I'm human, but I will just say, I'm sorry, and I will fix it. The other rule she has is that assistants have to work late into the night. Now, there was a previous rumor or gossip that she did not pay her workers overtime. Now, I do not know what her assistants make, but apparently it is a requirement that they have to work late into the night. In fact, a former assistant to Kylie Jenner said that if Kylie called her at 2 a.m. or whatever time, she would have to respond. So there are no set hours. It's basically a 24/7 job. And finally, if you think that you can cut the mustard and be one of Kim's assistants, you must abide by a dress code. Let me ask you, what colors do you think you'd have to wear? Kim is a fashion mogul, so she does not want to uncoordinate her home with her assistants. So you have to wear the color scheme of the home. We've all seen a glance of the inside of her home, and basically it's not necessarily that there's a dress code rather than a dress code color. So it's not like, hey, this is your uniform, it's just color palettes. So Kim clarified, noting that she prefers her staff stick to grays, heather gray, black, navy, white, cream, or khaki. So if you do not match her furniture, her walls, her carpet, or any of her fixtures, you cannot work for her. So those are the 9 very strict rules that Kim Kardashian has for her assistants. What are your thoughts? Do you think they're over the top? Do you think they fit with the requirements? I wonder what the pay wage is, because for those kinds of rules, being a multitasker, fast learner, note taker, working 24/7 on call, sounds like a medical doctor's salary that you would deserve. Anyway, would love to hear your comments in the notes below and what you think about Kim K's strict rules.